Hitchhiking. What's up everyone, welcome back to Planetauditory, and this is part 2 of my adventure through Albania. So in the last episode you would have seen that I hitchhiked from Shkodra in the north of Albania to the capital of Albania named Tirana. Let's jump straight into it and start from there. Now literally the first 2 days I was actually quite lazy. At the end of that last video, as soon as I got to the hostel, I basically didn't leave for almost 2 days. My friend Darcy was in Tirana before he came and met me in India, and he recommended this hostel called Trippin Hostel. It was one of those places that just have such a good vibe, attracts awesome people that you just cannot leave. So the first 2 days I just sat there chatting to other backpackers, telling my story, hearing their story, drinking beer that was locally brewed, and just having a brilliant time. But after 2 or 3 days, I finally got off my butt, did a walking tour, started exploring the city, and especially after coming from Shkodra, I found Tirana to just be one of those places that are completely unexpected, takes you by surprise, and just has an awesome atmosphere. So the population of Tirana is about 400,000, and it's a really interesting city because it has this blending of different architecture from different periods. You've got the Ottoman period, the fascist, and the communists. And then you've also got these colorful, trippy buildings everywhere that are brand new and really contrast the stark communist buildings. Now, even though Albania doesn't technically have a religion, and religion is viewed very equally across the country, you can still find, just like in Bosnia, mosques, Roman Catholic churches, and Christian Orthodox churches within a few hundred meters of each other. But it's funny because I asked so many different people, so many different Albanians what their religion was, because I was curious to find out. And everyone always goes Albania #1 and then their religion #2. Albanians are so proud of their country, they're so proud to be Albanian that they always say, every single one of them said, Albania #1. Always put Albania first. Now Tirana also took me by surprise because it's one of those places that just have a lot to do that you're not expecting. And there's monuments everywhere, there's pieces of art everywhere, there's pieces of art that are dedicated to things, there's massive parks, there's a cable car to the mountain. So you can really spend quite a few days there. I ended up spending 5 or 6 and I could have easily have stayed more. It's got its own its own uniqueness about it, and as soon as you get there, everyone who gets there is like, Tirana is awesome, I can feel the vibes, man. So everyone was also telling me that the Albanian Riviera is absolutely stunning. My original plan was to go to Tirana, and from there it was going to be really easy to hitchhike to Lake Ohrid in Macedonia. But after everyone saying Albanian Riviera is amazing, I had no choice. I just felt like I was really going to regret it if I didn't go. So I decided that I would hitchhike down the Albanian Riviera and basically spend 5 days on 5 different beaches, just sleeping on the beach, having a really cool time. My plan was to end in Saranda, which is on the south of Albania, and then from there start hitchhiking all the way to Istanbul in Turkey. And man, I'm so glad I did it because the Albanian Riviera is awesome. This is the place I woke up to on my first morning. It was stunning. So that night I had hitchhiked all the way to Vlora. I then ended up walking out of the city, and that is where I found that spot. As I was setting up a tent for the night, this guy named Ruben popped out of nowhere, freaked the shit out of me, and basically said, hey man, I'm camping on the beach, do you want to come down and camp with me? So we did, we camped down there together. Next morning I find out he's also hitchhiking down the Albanian Riviera. Do you want to hitchhike together? I don't mind teaming up. He didn't really want to be on camera, hence why I didn't really introduce him. But yeah, so we decided to start hitchhiking. It really was easy. We got 2 or 3 rides to this small town, And from there I saw these two girls that really didn't seem to fit in because there was only Albanians around, and these two girls just suddenly walking down the street. So I was like, what are you guys doing here? And they told me they were attending a techno festival at a beach called Yala. They said it was only going to be €8 a day for the accommodation in a tent in a camping area with free food 3 meals a day, and about €10 to get into the festival, which will then run for 3 days straight. Being the dance addict I am, I could not say no. A techno festival on an Albanian beach, sign me up, I'm going. So I changed my plans in an instant, and they originally wouldn't get a taxi. I said, nah, we can hitchhike there. So we teamed up, the 4 of us, and hitchhiked all the way to this beach called Yala. Now the event itself, it was called a festival, but it wasn't really like a festival. It was more like, it was a pretty quiet event, but all the people there were still really awesome, and the spot was absolutely beautiful. I ended up sleeping about 3 hours in 3 days and racked up over 24 hours on the dance floor. Here's a little montage of where the event was held, because it was incredible. One of the best weekends I think I've ever had. This place was awesome. It was great. The only people there were Albanians. There was hardly any tourists. It was basically like where all the Albanians go for holiday. It was amazing. The people were amazing. The place was amazing. The music was incredible. Everyone was so friendly. Absolutely the friendliest people I've ever met. And even some of the Albanians could barely even speak English. One guy didn't speak English at all, but he became like our best mate and ended up hanging out with us for 3-4 days straight. It was sick. But after 3 days of constant partying and feeling completely retarded, it was time for me to go. Basically everyone who had come for the event was separating ways. So I said goodbye to everyone, and I ended up walking up this giant hill where I got picked up by this guy in a Jeep. Unfortunately, all of my cameras had run out of battery except the one I'm shooting on now, and this is the one I'm shooting on now is the one that wiped all the footage. But I had this awesome ride in the back of a Jeep, and then from there I hitchhiked all the way to Tirana. It took me about 2.5 hours, not that long. I really wish I could have shown you more, but I got really unlucky with my gear. But the next video is awesome. It's a huge adventure. I tried to get from Tirana all the way to Istanbul within 6 days. It's 1,331 kilometers. I basically camped for like 4 nights straight. It's awesome. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on that one. That video will be coming out on Monday, so I'll see you all on Monday. Much love. Thank you for watching. Peace out.